I was going with my school class to a new water park. We were all excited, but I think mostly me and my friend Isabelle. We both wanted to be Olympic swimmers, and we both had potential. You see, I was the best boy swimmer in our state, and Isabelle was the best girl. After changing and taking a shower, we met outside of the locker rooms. I was wearing my new black Puma swimming shorts, and Isabelle was wearing a bright red bikini. We were just friends, but I could see how she was developing into a woman, and a very pretty one at that. Whoa, this park is huge! It had to be the biggest pool I had ever seen by far, outclassing anything I'd ever been to before, and I'd been to a lot of swimming halls. One thing was strange though. There was so many cameras everywhere. Isabelle joked,
It's probably just some old perv watching us.
I had not seen any cameras in the locker rooms at least, and neither had she. We played with the rest of the class on those floating tubes, played with balls, splashed water on each other. We explored the park's every single attraction and water slides, and I raced Isabelle to each one, and won every time. Finally, we chillaxed in the bubble pool. There even was this cave that looked like a human skull with water running down its sharp teeth. It was a little bit too scary and realistic looking for me, but Isabelle was braver than me, so she grabbed my arm and I followed her inside, feeling the cold water of the skull's fake teeth splashing like a cold shower on the way inside. Inside, it was just another place where you can sit and relax with some bubbles. I noticed this weird sign on the wall, and I had to show it to Isabelle. The sign said, Water Zoo, and not Water Park. Isabelle agreed that this indeed seemed strange, but she said it was probably just a printing error. Anyway, there was no time to think about it, as the megaphones announced that it was now time for waves. They had a wave machine making waves, and it was the park's most popular attraction. So we had to swim out and play in the waves before they were over. We were out playing in the pool for the duration of the waves. After they were over, me and Isabelle wanted to see if any one of us could dive to the bottom on the deep end. We both held our breaths and dived, swimming all the way to the bottom. I found the most peculiar and strange thing. It seemed like a hatch on the floor of the pool. I tried to open it, but to no avail. Isabelle tried to help, but even together we could not manage to get that hatch open. We decided this was another weird thing to add to the cameras, and the wrong label sign in the cave. We thought it would have been best to swim back onto land and talk to the others about what this could all mean. We started swimming back to get ashore, but as soon as we got there, these huge fences, too big to climb over, were raised from the ground. Now this was not only strange, but batshit crazy, possibly illegal to keep us inside like this. A kid grabbed the fences, and he was electrocuted. Now this was beyond fucked up. Electrocuting kids? That's abuse. And me and Isabelle had to hold him up so he didn't drown. I could see the camera zooming in at me and Isabelle, trying to hold the kid's head above water. The speakers announced,
Welcome to Aqua Zoo. Feeding time for the piranhas.
Wait, did I hear that right? Feeding time? Fucking piranhas? This must be a late April Fool's joke. But yet, they came, proving this was no laughing matter. They began to chew on the kid and my hands and feet. Isabelle, I don't want to leave this kid, but we have to.
Yeah, I know.
Isabelle agreed with tears in her eyes. We swam as fast as we could away from the piranhas, the water turning dark red with the blood from the dead kids. I could see my crush floating dead in the water in her pink bikini. She had always been the prettiest girl at school, but she was no looker now that half of her face had been eaten off by piranhas. I looked around and estimated about half of the kids to be still alive, the other half drowned or eaten by piranhas. We saw some kids gathering at the floating tubes, holding on to them for their dear life. It seemed like a smart plan. I grabbed a hold of a floating tube shaped like a pillar and was met with a punch to the face. It's every man for themselves, the blonde kid who had punched me said. Fuck! Me and Isabelle were great swimmers, but we couldn't swim forever. Isabelle approached the mean kid. Give me one good reason I should let you live, he asked of her.
I can give you 2.
She smiled and took her top off. Her trick worked and the kid let her hold on, just to get a good look at her melons. She grabbed her top. You're not going to put it back on, are you? I'll kick you off, and you and your boyfriend can both drown for all I care, he said.
He's not my boyfriend, and I'm not putting it back on.
She got up close to him, putting her top around his head, and caused him to put his guard down for just a moment. Using her female charm, she then got behind him and wrapped it tightly around his neck, strangling him to death. It was like watching Princess Leia take out Jabba the Hutt in Star Wars. Clever girl. She put her top back on and let me hold on for my life. We let 2 other kids hold on as well. Marcus, a dark-haired boy, he wasn't too good of a swimmer. And Lacey, a dark-haired emo girl, who somehow had gotten a pink rose tattooed on her left leg. Our class had 25 kids when we got here, and now I counted only 8 left alive. The piranhas had went back, but we couldn't swim forever. And that's when I remembered. The hatch! It's gotta be our way out of here. Me and Isabelle, Marcus and Lacey all went to investigate the hatch. And it opened. It was no way out, however.
Shark feeding time!
The speakers announced. A giant great white shark emerged from the now fully opened hatch. It bit Lacey in half with its giant mouth full of sharp teeth. We swam to the other kids as fast as we could. Marcus was of course not fast enough. The shark just swallowed him whole. Me and Isabelle went back to the other kids that were still holding on, and one of them, Pontus, a blonde-haired boy, was floating dead in the water. Had he drowned by himself? Or had the other kids killed him? It was better not to think of it.
Just 5 kids left in Aquazoo. Let's see who can make it back to land.
The fences were submerged. I couldn't believe it. Were they really giving us a chance to live?
Place your bets on the winner now. Eric?
That was me.
Isabelle?
My best friend.
Patrick?
A Chinese kid.
Laura?
A Latina girl.
Or Kesa?
A pink-haired SJW girl. Me and Isabelle both had the edge, and we knew it. Time to take advantage of our swimming skills. We were off. Almost instantly, an octopus pulled Kesa underwater, grabbing her legs. Sadly, there was nothing I could do to try and save her.
Just 4 kids left. Place your bets.
Someone was betting on which kid would live or die. It was truly sickening. I could feel the great white chasing after me. The bottom half of Lacey came floating by. I recognized her pink rose tattoo on her left leg. An electric eel took a bite of Laura's face and electrocuted her.
3 kids left. Place your bets.
I could see Isabelle, now the only girl left swimming in her red bikini on my right side. In between us was Patrick, the Chinese boy. He was a great swimmer, able to keep up with us. We were almost at land now. Patrick grabbed Isabelle's long blonde hair and attempted to drown her. The shark was after me, but I could not leave my best friend to die. I swam towards him and punched him straight in his balls, as hard as I could. He let go of Isabelle, and she put his head under the water. He began to splash wildly around with his arms and legs, but she did not let that motherfucker go. And I punched his stupid, ugly face. Then the shark caught up with us. It bit his legs off, and then other smaller sharks came to fight for the leftovers. Me and Isabelle swam faster than we ever had before in our lives. We knew that our lives depended on it. I kept thinking if the game would let us both win or only one. It did not matter. I could not kill my best friend, and I had to believe she would not kill me. I got to shore just a bit before, and as she was walking up to me, the fence emerged. She was cradled over it, being electrocuted, and I pulled her off as fast as I could. I held Isabelle over my arm as we limped out towards the parking lot. Strangely enough, my mom and dad were there to pick me up. Isabelle was put in the hospital, badly damaged, but she would live, they told me. After getting home, my mom and dad shouted at me angrily.
Why did you save Isabelle when we bet good money on you, our own son, to be the only survivor? Yeah, now that you've saved her life, we'll have to split the money with Isabelle's family.
They told me they had to split the winning money with Isabelle's parents now, and that I should have left her to die. Hey guys, that was Waterpark. Hope you enjoyed the story. Just wanted to give some special shoutouts to some folks that were involved in this one. So first off, special thanks to Freddie Gran for letting me do this story. He's the author. You can check him out over on his Reddit, where he has tons more stories on his subreddit. Next, thanks to Danie Dreadful for the voice of Isabelle. If you liked her voice, go visit her over on her YouTube channel for more great content and stories by her. And then lastly, thank you, Dr. Creepen, for coming on and being a part of this story. It was great to work with him, and I'm hoping to work with him in some fun future projects. Links are in the description for all these great artists. And finally, if you want to see more great stories just like this, be sure to hit that subscribe and tickle that little bell icon. Thanks so much, guys, and I will see you next week.